Okay, I just what I like to do is just get everything all laid out and ready to go. So I have my Arrow fletchings, the glue, vein glue, or veins, fletching, whatever you want to call them. I have these Q-tips. My wife got them. They're awesome because they're not your normal Q-tip. They actually have a nice pointy end and a flatter round end on the other side. I don't know where she got them, but they work awesome for this job. And just a little paper clip that I use to just puncture the glue so that I can get the glue out. Anyway, one other thing to keep in mind before I start is on the Arrow wrap itself, what you want to do, I don't know if you can see it, probably not. Oh, maybe right there. If you look, there's going to be you'll find the seam. Anyway, look for the seam. What you want to do, you don't want to fletch an arrow or put a vein, attach a vein along that seam, because what happens is the glue, just logically, it makes it so that you can't get the arrow wrap off because the glue then is over the seam. So just pay attention to where that is, and if it's going to end up on it, just readjust it. So anyway, here we go. I usually start with the cock vein out first, and the way this works is you just slide it into the point. There's measuring marks here. You find the one that you're going to use, and I don't put it all the way in. I leave it a little bit on the edge there, if you can see that. I don't jam it all the way up in there, so the clamp has got a hold of the vein. The key to this, I found, is to use the least amount of glue that you can. You don't want to flood this thing, you just want to get it in the little valley in there, and that's it. It's going to be hard to see. Anyway, right here are two magnets that are going to attach this clamp and hold it in place. So, and then this end here is going to butt up against this end. So I just kind of line it up, get it in the magnet. So now we're kind of ready to go. As you can see. So then I just kind of work it into and right on there, and just kind of, you don't want to smoosh it too hard, but you want to make sure that it's got good contact, and just let it set up for a minute or so. If you put too much glue, you'll see it squeeze out, and it's not that big of a deal, but that's where these Q-tips come into play, because all you have to do is basically just run it down real quick, and that's it. It's appearances, really. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to affect the flight if you have too much glue on there. So then you just release the clamp, pull it off, and the first arrow, or the first vein is on there. Now, it's not completely dry, so you want to be careful. I'm kind of doing this quickly for the video, but you might want to leave it in there a minute or two just so you make sure that it is set up. And then you just rotate the dial till you feel it click in. Get your next vein. Get it on the mark that you want so that it's going to be even with the one you just put on there. Add your glue. Running out of glue. and you just continue on. Alright, so we got the last one on, and just pull it off. And there we go. Got a arrow with our arrow wrap and our laser veins on there. So just so you can see how the offset looks, let me try to get this. You can see there's a slight helical in each of the veins, just by having that little offset, so it works just fine. So these veins are good for you guys that are using whisker biscuit arrow rests. They seem to be really durable. I know the 4-inch Dura veins, they take a beating, they get all ribbed, they'll get warped. If you're shooting a whisker biscuit, these won't, so you might want to switch up. Anyway, one last tip when you're done, what I do is I just take a little bit of rubbing alcohol on a rag and wipe your clamp down, because the glue, it can get on there. It takes a while to get good at putting the right amount of glue on there. I'm still not the best at it, but just wiping it down will allow, otherwise it gets stuck and it won't open. Well, it opens, but it's just sticky. Anyway, have your hand at doing some arrow wraps and arrow veins fletching. It's fun, it's cheap, and it's something that, you know, gets you involved in the everything else about our bows. We tend to get serviced. It's kind of specialized work. One other thing I totally forgot. Another good tip is to add a little bit of glue on the front, right on the front, just a little dot. It just helps, especially if your your target, if it ends up going through, or up to the vein. I mean, I don't know how many targets do, but it just makes them more durable and they won't come off. So, another tip. Anyway, good luck, guys.